Welcome to CoreCon Today for August 8th, 2019. This is the show where I quickly break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of CoreCon right now and give you my opinion on them. If you want to learn more about these stories, in the show notes down below, I'll put a link to each story. You can read about them for yourself, come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. They are in the order I talk about them, so if you want to jump ahead, you can use that to kind of know where to go to find the stories you're looking for. If you're new here, hey, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. It helps us a lot because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we're doing. And hopefully we can help you break free from the high-cost cable TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. Real quick before we get to the news today, hey, we've been having issues with Twitter and Facebook, not giving people stories. I always hear as well, we're not seeing your news stories when they come up in our social media. Unfortunately, these services sometimes determine which ones you want. With Twitter, it's a lot easier. You can switch it to be chronological and just see them in order, or they do have that filtered like what we think you'll like. But Google's also been having issues recently. Google today is having an indexing issue for new news, so if you're relying on Google to follow our news stories, you may be missing out on them, to be honest with you. It's not just affecting CoreCar's news, this is an issue across the board. Even YouTube has been having some analytic issues. So these things happen from time to time where maybe you'll miss out on a news story. So I highly recommend you may want to check out our free CoreCar's News app. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. It's 100% free, works with the Fire tablets, Android, iOS, and more. It allows you to read the stories, actually with a reduced ad load. There's fewer ads in our app than there are in our mobile website, so that's a great news. You can do things like download stories for offline reading, favorite ones, so if there's a guide or something you want to find later, you can favorite and save it for reading later. And you can even disable the notifications if you don't want them, but that way you're never missing a story. Now, I would encourage you to check that out, or maybe just use our RSS feed in a reader like Feedly to never miss a story. So highly wanted to check that out mention that because we've been getting a lot of complaints about Facebook not showing our stories or missing it on Twitter and more. So if you're one of those people who wants to make sure you don't miss any of our stories, that's the best way to do it. Well, that's it. I'll put a link to the app down in the show notes down below. If you like it, leave us a 5-star review. It really does help. All right, let's get into it. News breaking in the last about 15 minutes from when I started to record this is that Amazon has updated the Fire TV to add YouTube to all Fire TV models. They've also added Alexa announcements to all Fire TV models. So YouTube started rolling out about a month ago, but not on all devices. First generation Fire TV stick, some of the older boxes were not supported with it. As of today, they are rolling out worldwide in all markets that the Fire TV supports to be able to use the Fire TV or the official YouTube app. Now, I know there's been workarounds. There's the web browser and other ones. Never worked quite as well as the official Fire TV app. Now, good news is you do have the official Fire TV app to be able to use instead of having to rely on the web browser. Amazon's Echo announcements, we'll call them so I don't trigger everybody's Echo out there, is the ability for you to broadcast, across your home. Now, we have a couple of Echoes stationed around the home. We use them in the music group, so as you clean the house or walk through the home, you can hear the music synced throughout the entire house, which is really great. I really love that feature. But now you can also go and tell your Echo to broadcast through all the Alexa-enabled devices, including your Fire TVs, hey, dinner's ready. This is a pretty cool feature for mom. I know we have a playroom for our daughter that's way upstairs in the far corner, so parents don't hear her playing with her toys. But when we're yelling up there, sometimes because we're down in the kitchen and gotta go up the stairs, around the hall, past all the bedrooms to the playroom at the end of the hall, you don't hear it. So I find this is a pretty cool feature. I do love it. Have you used the Alexa announcements? Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of it. And if you have an older Fire TV, you can now use the official YouTube app. All right. The battle between Roku and Amazon has been heating up, continuously going back and forth. Amazon says we have more active users. Roku says we're more popular in the United States, back and forth. But now we got a new study that takes a look at the overall breakdown of the market and specifically connected TVs from Conviva, C-O-N-V-I-V-A. I'm probably butchering that. No one can pronounce my last name, so my apologies for butchering that name. They announced their State of the Streaming survey, and according to them, 43% of all connected TVs run Roku, 18% use Fire TV. So Roku's still seemingly dominating the market. Now, active accounts is one of those things where, for instance, I have a Roku account that has 20 some Rokus on it. I have a Fire TV account with like 10 or so Fire TV devices. One account, one active account could represent multiple devices. So we definitely are shading barbs back and forth. Now, this is far and ahead, way above the Apple TV at 10% and everybody else less than 10%. We look at the streaming players like Xbox, Chromecast, etc. And the connected TV was the most popular way people watch TV. For all the talk about mobile streaming is very small. Now, I use mobile streaming when I have to. I do use it for like short videos. I'm watching a 3, 4, or 5 minute YouTube video, maybe a Core Cutting Today video. But for the long form content, it still seems that people are enjoying watching it on the big screen as opposed to watching it on a tablet or phone. So I would love to hear from you. What do you use for your streaming? Do you use a Roku, a Fire TV? Do you agree that Roku is the most popular one out there? Does Fire TV being that far behind surprise you? Now, what about streaming players? Do you watch most of your streaming on a TV, connected one like this Roku TV, a Fire TV, Apple TV? Or are you doing it on a mobile device? For all the talk of mobile overtaking set-top boxes for your primary viewing experience, it still seems that, to me, that most people want to watch long-form content, movies and TV shows on a TV, but the shorter form content, the YouTube videos and more, on a mobile device is very common. I see that in our stats when we look at viewership on these YouTube. Google gives us like, hey, this played on a TV, this played on a computer, this played on a phone. Phones and tablets are extremely popular. TVs are actually surprisingly a big chunk of it still, but not nearly as popular. So let me know, what devices do you use? And do you watch it on a TV or do you watch it on a phone? Or are you kind of like me, where shorter videos you do on a phone? I'll be honest, sometimes when I see a very long YouTube video, I'll just cast it to my TV and use my phone to do something and maybe watch it. So let me know what you think. I'll love to hear from you. All right, next story up of the day. Yesterday was Roku's earnings call. They announced great numbers, beat Wall Street's expectations from my understanding, and they announced that they intend to keep the ad load on Roku channel low. So there's been a lot of push for people by people in the ad industry mostly, let's be honest, people who want to sell their ads or want them to show their ads, for them to put more ads. Roku says they're at about 8 minutes of ads per 1 hour streaming on the Roku channel, and they intend to keep it there. Now, there's some variation on that because live streams like ABC News, the ad breaks there are kind of controlled by ABC. But when you look at the on-demand content, the movies and TV shows, the content controlled by Roku, they're at about 8 minutes per hour of ads. Per streaming hours, I think is what they called it. Now, I'd love to know what you think of that. Now, many of the free services out there are way higher than that. Some are close to that too. Roku seems to have found a accurate little balance there that they can go and say, hey, we're going to attract a huge amount of streaming. They saw a huge jump in streaming hours on the Roku channel. Streaming revenue and subscription revenue is way outpacing the revenue from streaming players as Roku moves to try to become a company that follows Google a little bit. Hey, we're going to sell you a cheap streaming player and we're going to make money on the advertising. This little ad here, but primarily those ads you see before videos are ones served by Roku. Roku actually is the company that sells that ad, serves that ad, and gets a cut of that ad, even if it's not on the Roku channel. Many of these Roku channels that use ads get through Roku. So what do you think? What do you think of Roku's plan to be a ad and subscription company? When you subscribe to something through the Roku channel or use your Roku account, they get a cut of that, they get a little service fee, they get the ads. Are you happy paying for a cheaper device, a $30 streaming player, in exchange for ads? Now, Amazon is kind of following this a little bit. They got their IMDb TV, they got their Amazon channels, and more. This seems to be where it's going, as opposed to Apple, which is trying to charge a bigger fee up front, and then instead of selling ad or getting as much from the subscriptions ads. Now, Apple takes a huge cut, and I've heard different numbers that Apple takes a bigger cut than Roku or Amazon. I've heard it the other way too. But let me know, what do you think of this market? Do you think it's working for them? Do you like this model of, hey, I'll see a little ad here or in my free video in exchange for a cheaper streaming player? Let me know. All right, a few news stories from DirecTV and DirecTV Now and AT&T TV Now, as it's called, and so forth. This morning, AT&T and CBS announced a deal with CBS to return all CBS-owned locals to DirecTV and all CBS locals to DirecTV Now. Now, some locals are back already at the time of the recording on DirecTV Now if it's owned by CBS. Unfortunately, it seems that some of the network ones that are not live yet, they will be live probably by the end of the day today, what I'm hearing from AT&T. AT&T has confirmed the contract to Core Cars News. So good news there. CBS-owned locals, including the CBS Sports Network, the Smithsonian, are returning to DirecTV Now and all AT&T TV services. Now, Sinclair, though, yesterday had their earnings call, and Sinclair is one of the largest owners of local TV stations, and they warned that by the end of September, their contract with AT&T is coming up. And they didn't say it, but they were kind of hinting that there could be a blackout there. So we'll have to see. Nexstar locals are still dark on DirecTV Now. I know it's called AT&T TV Now, but once they rebrand it, and more importantly, once they stop sending out emails using the DirecTV name, I'll start using the AT&T TV Now name more often. But so keep an eye on the situation. AT&T and CBS have struck a deal. Last we heard during the earnings call, Nexstar and AT&T were still far apart. And we'll have to see if they can get a deal with Sinclair. The good news is, again, for most people, an antenna will give you everything you want. I would highly recommend, even if you have DirecTV Now, YouTube TV, PlayStation View, whatever AT&T is going to call their services tomorrow, get an antenna because it really does help you. And it will mean that in these kind of situations, you won't have to worry about blackout. You just switch your antenna and you keep streaming. So check that out. Keep an eye on this. We'll be watching the Sinclair story as closely as we can. And let me know, how important is this? Do you use an antenna to supplement your streaming? If not, why not? Let me know, because I think you're missing out on a lot of content or a great backup. All right, Pluto TV today. Viacom announced their third quarter earnings numbers. Yes, I know it's technically the second quarter of 2019, but because of how Viacom breaks out their accounting, it's technically their third quarter. But according to their numbers, they're now up to 18 million active users on Pluto TV. This is up from 12 million back in January when Viacom purchased them. Really no big news other than they intend to continue to grow the ad sales, continue to grow Pluto TV, expand it. Basically everything they've announced in the past. Really the only news was that they hit 18 million. Now the question is, how is that compared to like Tubi and Xumo TV and all these other services? I would have to say this probably makes Pluto TV one of the larger services out there. Unfortunately, many of these ones don't really disclose exact user numbers. But Pluto TV, if it's not the top, it's one of the top three, it seems like. 18 million, that's more than double all the subscribers to Sling TV, Hulu with Live TV, PlayStation View, etc. That's pretty massive growth. And you can see why free ad-supported is very profitable, because here's Pluto TV. It's owned by Viacom now. It's taking all this content that Viacom just has sitting around, right? All this old MTV content, all this old Nickelodeon content, partnerships with CNN and stuff, which probably, I mean, honest, Pluto's probably not paying CNN up front. They're probably giving CNN an ad share of the revenue. So now they can go there and monetize that 18 million views with Viacom's ad deals, which are much more profitable probably than Pluto's when they were an independent buyer, because you're part of a bigger family of ads. You can see why Amazon and Roku and all these other companies out there are jumping into the ad-supported market because it's very profitable. Hulu's, I think, can't remember, the CEO or CFO recently said that the limited ad plan, the plan with the commercials, is actually more profitable than the commercial-free plan because of the ads. Even though it's roughly half the cost, the money they make off those ads more than makes up for that, and they make more money with the limited ad commercial plan than with the commercial free plan. So I'd love to know, what do you think of that? Are you enjoying the free ad support content, whether it be the Roku channel, Xumo TV, Pluto TV, IMDb TV, all these services? I think this is great. I think it's good for cord cutting, and if you're not taking advantage of it, you really should, because it gives you so much content. All right, I'm going to try to keep moving along because this is getting a little bit long today. Disney is killing off most Fox films currently in development. Disney had a bad quarter at the box office. Now, I know they had some big blockbusters. They also had some big bombs. One of the big ones they're pointing to as a bomb was The Dark Phoenix, which cost, if I remember right, it said $200 million, but only made $65 million domestically. And while it may eventually break even and make a profit even, with a big blockbuster movie like that, Disney expected big blockbuster profits, which haven't come to be. So Disney has decided that all the early movies currently in development, the ones not in production right now, are being killed, with the exception of Avatar, Planet of the Apes, and the Fox Searchlight movies, which are kind of the Fox independent movies, which I think like one of the big early hits for that was Juno. If you remember, that movie was kind of an independent movie through Fox Searchlight. Technically not independent, but it was kind of that type of movie. Hit it big and really helped put Fox Searchlight movies on the map. Well, those ones are safe. All others are being canceled right now, and then they're re-evaluating them. Disney is also announced that the Fox superhero titles will be moved under the stewardship of, I can't remember, but basically a Disney executive. I cut it off right at that point. I need to try to maybe zoom out a little bit more when I print these. So let me know, does it concern you that Disney's killing so many movies? Let me know, leave me a comment. All right, Hulu with Live TV is now on Android TV. So if you're NVIDIA Shield, a MyBox, or a Sony TV customer, good news is you can now watch Hulu with Live TV on your Android TV powered device. It is the new Hulu app, which I fully get. Some people hate. Good news is, while this is not the new version, it does not have the 14-day guide at this moment. They do say that's coming sometime this month. So fingers crossed that new updated Hulu Live TV version with a guide will be live before we know it. And last story up of the day, according to CNBC, the merger announcement for CBS and Viacom is reportedly delayed as talks continued. Today was the day they wanted to get that announcement done. We just heard Viacom had their earnings call earlier today. CBS is about to do them soon, and they wanted to do a merger announcement. Unfortunately, that has not come to be. Many had hoped that this was done last week when it was announced that CBS and Viacom had agreed to a leadership team. That was reportedly the number one holdup, that who would lead the new company. Would it be CBS? Would it be Viacom executives? And more. Well, Viacom's CEO would take over the overall quarter reports, and CBS's CFO would take over as CFO as the new company. So kind of a split leadership a little bit there, trying to make everybody happy. Now it seems like something is still in the works, as they're going to miss the deadline today and not announce a new merger between the two companies, according to CNBC. Love to know what you think of these stories. Again, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It helps us a lot. Hopefully we can help you break free from the high-cost cable TV and still watch the shows that you enjoy. If you never want to miss a story, because this is actually just some of the stories we've talked about or wrote about in the last 24 hours, check out our mobile app. Link in the show notes down below. That way you don't have to worry about Google being down, Facebook deciding you don't really care about our stories, or Twitter switching over to that filtered feed instead of the chronological feed. So check it out. It's 100% free. You can actually, if you want, there is an ad-free version where it's $5 or so to get ad-free streaming or reading of our content if you want to support us that way. But you don't have to. It's 100% free without having to pay. So I hope everybody takes care. I will see you tomorrow, and thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it.